stream.
This is all like magic.
I don't know if it's working or not. Let's go to Pelgrane Press YouTube channel and live section. I don't know if it's going live or not. Let me refresh this page and see.
It says that we are live on the YouTube page, and yep, I'm seeing us here on YouTube.
Cool.
Really? Okay. Nice.
All right, we're at about 10-second delay.
Nice. Let's give people the link
to YouTube.
Yes, this one. I'm copying it to the Discord.
Cool. I don't know who Chico Bluesman is, but I'm here for their.
We seem to be okay, and by clicking this, I'm showing the Kickstarter, and we have a viewer, I guess. I don't expect many people to join the stream, by the way. But
yeah, I know, but it's more just for the crack.
Yeah. And let me embed this to the campaign page.
Cool.
Story. Maybe here. Yes, we are ready to go, I guess. I think everything is in order. Let me check the stretch goals again. Yeah. Yeah, I knew something was up. Yeah.
Okay. No, what's up?
Yeah. Everything seems to be okay, and we can fix it after lunch if anything comes up.
Hashtag famous last words.
How are you doing, Trista?
I'm here.
Cool. Right. Okay. Cool. I say press the button. Do you want to press the button, Ibrahim?
I don't have the button. That's why I wanted you to wait.
See? that would have been bad. I can't see it. Oh, I suppose we're on the preview. All right then. Okay. All right. So basics, product title, project overview. All right.
Yeah, the
Build
big
campaign.
green button.
Yeah, I know. Just right. Oh.
Let us
We're
see
doing it.
it
We're
going
doing it.
live.
Okay.
Refreshing it.
I am 3, 2, 1. Are we ready? It's 1926 here, which seems like an odd time, but look, we're going to go for it. Right. Okay. Review the details one more time. Yes, I've read these details. Launch product. It's saying drum roll. Has anything happened? Are you
I'm
there yet?
watching it, and we
We're
seem to be
live!
live. Yeah.
Hooray!
All right.
Yay! All right. Where is
Kristen, do
Chico
you
Blues Man?
want to start talking about the project? And
Yes.
by the way, we
What would
can
you like me
also
to talk
see
about?
the first backer come in
Is it Chico?
live.
Is it Chico?
Sorry?
I wanted to be Chico Blues Man.
That would be a delight.
Yeah. I hope it is.
We are waiting for the first backer right now. And let's talk about Ballad Hunters.
So once again, I've never done one of these before. What would you like me to talk about?
Tell us about the game. Where did it start? How the inspiration came for it?
So I have been, well, I guess I first became aware of the child ballads as an art form, as a category of thing. 15 years ago, 18 years ago, something like that. When I met a group. Oh, I guess I should take this out of the holder. When I met a group of very passionate young folk singers at my college, and um, we were all singing folk music, and it was a grand old time. And I was made aware that, like, oh, some of these songs that we're singing are related. They're child ballads. That's a thing. And so I kind of became aware of this art form. I fell in love with it. It's very human, right? It's all about human fears and concerns and anxieties, and that's all really, really lovely. And then fast forward 10 years, and I was like, boy, I would really, and I guess not even that, because I've been noodling on, I want to do something with child ballads forever. I've got this, everybody, in my experience, maybe not every game designer, but quite a lot of game designers have a, like, oh, I wrote a fantasy RPG. Like, usually it's not actually published, but it's certainly tucked away somewhere on some external hard drive. And like, so my, like, oh, I wrote a fantasy RPG is still there. Like, all the work is still there. And one of the realms in the fantasy RPG I wrote was like, oh, this is the realm where everything works on child ballad logic. Um, and yeah, just been tooling around with that, and eventually, it kind of all coalesced, and started working on it, and somebody pointed out, hey, couldn't you do this with sea shanties as well? Could do this with sea shanties. That's a really good point. I bet we're going to get married someday. And and I did like a poll of everybody I could think of, everybody on social medias and discords and in person, and hey, should I do sea shanties first or should I do child ballads first? And it was sea shanties by a 3-1 margin, and I'm really glad, because sea shanties are a more straightforward art form, and so that let me kind of do it with training wheels on, and then finally break out the big guns for Ballad Hunters. Boy, my Discord is blowing up.
Yeah, I hope that's people coming in to wish you luck.
No idea. I have no idea where the little pig noises are coming from. Who can say? Life is an endless sequence of mysteries.
Let me get a referral link, launch party, and
Yeah.
send it to the live stream chat so that we can see. Yeah, we have 9 backers.
Cool.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Huzzah.
Hopefully, we will manage to do this with your help and with your support.
Mm.
And I
Yeah,
guess barring other questions, I'm just going to start sending out my own, promotional email blasts and what
yeah.
have you.
I will send it in an hour, and my responsibilities. So
So,
yeah, if you have any questions, you can write it on the chat on the YouTube.
mhm. Mhm. Right. I'm going to head away and let you to it.
Good luck.
Yeah. Thank you
So
very
yes,
much, Kat.
and good luck to you too. All right. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. We also have some ballads from the game sang by you and your friends, right? On our YouTube channel.
Yes, that's correct. In fact, many of the people who first made me aware of child ballads as an art form are in that recording, which is really delightful. Kind of tucked away, some of these folks, because we're still singing together, lo these many years.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah,
Thank you. Let me. Yeah, I'm lost in many uh, tabs open, so I apologize for the slowness of my attention. Uh,
well, and this is, I've never done a Kickstarter launch party before, but this is not my first rodeo for launching a Kickstarter. And this is the phase where, you just furiously refreshing the Kickstarter page and, seeing whether it was worth it. So anyway, we'll find out. Find out.
yeah, nail biting season opened.
Hmm. So, yeah, if anybody out there on the internet has questions, I would, of course, be more than happy to answer your questions. Delighted, in fact, I would go so far
Yes.
as to say.
Hype. So excited to see Ballad Hunters go live. Wishing you an awesome campaign. Divergent Triad. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate the good vibes. Oh no, the person who really, really wanted to be person number one and came in at number 12. Ah, a tragedy. There's no way to take that back.
Is there a ballad about being late to something or somewhere?
Yes, actually, there are any number of ballads that are about being late. The one that immediately springs to mind is one that does so because it's one of the actual plays. I believe one of the actual plays that's dropping in the next few days. It's it's a song called Clyde's Water. And yeah, so we ran an adventure based around the ballad Clyde's Water. It was a huge amount of fun. Um, and in that particular ballad, um, a uh, a young man is going out on a night with terrible weather to go see his lover. And he's going to have to ford the River Clyde in Scotland in order to do it. And his mother really doesn't want him to go. So she says, "Ooh, you go out there. You will go out there with my curse upon you. I will curse you." Your mother's malison will go with thee. And he says, I don't care. I'm going to see my girl. And so out he rides, and he comes to the river, and he knows if he crosses the river on his horse with his mother's curse upon him, he will drown. That's the whole point of the curse, right? Like, I'm trying to discourage you from going out. But he makes a deal. He makes a deal with the river. If you let me cross to see my lover, I'll let you take me when I go back. Um, and he crosses, and his lover is asleep, but her mother is awake, and her mother doesn't particularly like the pair of them together, and so her mother calls out from inside the house, pretending to be her own daughter, saying, "Oh, who's that out there? Oh, you're very boring. I have so many men in here. I'm just partying with all these dudes in here. I barely even remember you." And so he's heartbroken. He rides away. He reaches the river, and he rides into the river, and the river takes him up on the deal, and he is swept from his horse and drowned. And then shortly thereafter, and this is where the like, hey, is there a song about being late? Comes up. The man's lover wakes up, and she says to her mom, "Oh, mother, I dreamed a dreary dream. I dreamed my lover was at our gate and nobody let him in." And says, "Oh, that wasn't just a dream. Like, that really happened. I sent him away. What a jerk he is." So lover, rushes out. She's too late. She rushes out to try to stop her man from riding away.
Yeah.
But it's too late. He's off. He's entering the river. The roar of the river is too loud for him to hear her calling after him. And so he is drowned, and then she strides into the river after him, and she is drowned, and it's all very sad.
Yeah.
So, of course, in the adventure version, you have a river crossing, and there's multiple people crossing, and like, hey, some of these people are playing roles from the ballad, and boy, you better try and stop them from crossing the river, because crossing the river is real bad in this song. And it was a whole mess, and it was a lot of fun, very fun actual play. I believe that one was on Role Playing Public Radio.
I will add the links to the actual plays and reviews of the game on the Kickstarter page.
Yeah, and that one isn't live yet. We've got
when it goes live.
Yeah. And I'll obviously, Ibrahim, I will keep you apprised. I've given you some links already. I'll keep you apprised of other links as they.
Thank you. We are at 24 backers right now and £2,000. Thank you very much, everyone. Yes, 25 backers. So how long did it take to research all of these ballads, and how many ballads did you read?
Oh God! So this is the part where we take advantage of this being a visual medium. I did the same gag on the AMA we did last month, but I'm going to do it again. Which is so one book, two book, three book, four book, five book. So, and now I should probably take these down before they fall off my desk with a giant clatter. So there are 305 child ballads, and thousands of variants. And I had to go through all of them. And I had to go through all of them for two reasons. Number one, we had to pick out the child ballads that were most gameable, right? That made the best adventures. And then reason number two is the coolest part of the game, in my opinion, in the opinion of many playtesters, is the compass verses, where You have a little bit of ballad magic and can cause a verse from another ballad to come to life, to manifest, and use it to solve problems. And so I had to go through all these songs, even the songs where, you start reading, you're like, this is not going to make a good adventure. You can tell pretty quick. Nope, you still got to go through that song. You got to go through all its variants, looking for verses that might make good compass verses, stripped of context. And that took a really long time. I mean, it was, and not least because it's very, um, there's a concept in game design called legwork, which is the idea that um, a lot of what you are paying for in a game that you purchase is somebody doing the drudgery ahead of time, right?
Yeah.
Because there's parts of being a GM that aren't necessarily particularly fun, but have to be done, right? Like statting up a monster, for example, or figuring out, oh, who are the 100 NPCs that you have in this town. Actually, please don't GM your games like that, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Um, and so that was the developing the table of 100 compass verses was a big portion of the legwork in the Ballad Hunters design. And when it comes to um, and just combing through all these, and it gets real repetitive, and so you got to take breaks and come back to it and so forth. I did a lot of it, did a lot of that work at the confluence of the Mississippi and Missouri rivers, where there's this wonderful wildlife refuge.
Yeah.
It's a marsh full of birds. Go out there and hang out with the birds and watch the river. And but I digress. Anyway, yeah, no. So that was that. I mean, it was a lot of work. It took a while, but I think the results are well worth it.
Yeah.
Um, and now
I
you at
would say so.
home don't have to do that. I did the legwork for you.
Yeah. Uh, were there any ballads that you wanted to include but wasn't that good, like for the game, or like it wasn't like
There were certainly ballads that I had hoped to include because, of course, you read a ballad and you're like, oh, this isn't good, then, well, I don't want to include it. So
yeah.
that's that. No ballads where it was like, I want to include this, but I can't justify it. But there were certainly songs that I really hoped to be able to include, and just they just didn't pan out. And that's kind of the nature. I've been doing this whole RPG material based on real history and real folklore thing for more than a decade at this point, well more than a decade. And that's just kind of the nature of the beast, right? Is you'll grab something and you'll say, oh, I bet there's going to be something fabulous in here, something fabulously gameable, and it never quite comes together, and you just have to say, oh, there's three-quarters of a blog post in here, but it's missing that special sauce that's going to make it sing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there's almost an adventure in this, but there's not quite enough to make a good adventure. And so, yeah, there were lots of ballads like that, and I'm trying to, I guess, one where it was, boy, I would have really loved to include this, but there's just not a full adventure, is one of the child ballads that folks are most familiar with, perhaps. In child, it's called the Elfin Knight. Most modern folks are familiar with it as the Simon and Garfunkel song "Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme," which was real big back in the day.
Yeah.
And it's a really beautiful song, and so because it's got that name recognition, I was really hoping to include it. But no, there's not quite enough in there for an adventure, and so too bad, so sad.
Thank you very much. Let's see how we are doing. And we are doing fine with 27 backers with 2,100 pounds. And thank you very much, everyone.
Yes, thank you to all of you, and tell your friends.
Yeah, don't forget to tell your friends, and let's do this. Yeah, as we speak, it jumped to 29 backers from 27.
Very exciting.
Yeah. So thank you for doing this, Tristan. It was great, like picking your mind about it and learning the game and how it came to be from you. Uh, how about Gumshoe Labs? You are
Yeah,
the
so
first.
I can't really speak to Gumshoe Labs. When so Pelgrane picked up Ballad Hunters before Robin Laws came on as what's his title, creative director, something like
Yeah,
that. Um, and so he got brought on and was told like, "Hey, we're doing this Ballad Hunters thing. Good luck with that." And so he reads it over. My understanding from talking to him is he reads it over and he's like, "All right, this is cool." He said something really nice to me, which is, so I was reading your manuscript, Tristan, and I got 2/3 of the way through it before you referenced Joan Baez and suddenly remembered, oh, right, I hate folk music. So, the fact that he was able to get 2/3 of the way through it before he remembered that he hated the source material, like, fabulous, I'll take it. But anyway, he finishes up and he says, "Yeah, he says a bunch of really complimentary things about it to me, which I certainly appreciate. But also, like, this is very different, right? This is very different from baseline Gumshoe.
yeah,
Um, we can't advertise this as just straight stick baseline Gumshoe. I know I'll spin up a whole game line. We'll call it Gumshoe Labs. And so that's Robin making the best out of a weird situation, I suppose, for which I am grateful.
yeah. It's a great idea so that Gumshoe can continue to evolve and expand. So, other than that, how about uh, informing our viewers that actually you completed writing it, right?
Oh, like as of right now?
Yeah,
Yeah. No, the game is done, right? The game is done, sir, done. The manuscript is complete. The game has been exhaustively playtested over the course of many years, including by many gamers and designers much smarter and more skilled than I am. And the manuscript is complete. All the playtesting is done. It's been through editing. It's been through all the different kinds of editing. It's in layout right now. I think about half the interior art is done. Like, yeah, this is not a, like, oh boy, I back it, I hope I get it, like, no, it's done.
yeah,
This is a done game.
yeah, and hopefully it will go faster than uh, what people expect from Kickstarter and will be fulfilled quicker, I guess.
Yes, I certainly see no reason why this wouldn't be fulfilled faster than the many other Kickstarters and perhaps many other Pelgrane crowdfunding campaigns,
Yeah,
just because, yeah, it's done, right? We need to finish up layout, we need to finish up interior
yeah,
illustration, and then it's off to the printers.
yeah,
um and we live in a time of great uncertainty in international trade. So hold on to your hats, I suppose. But the game is done. At a minimum, I shouldn't expect any delays on the PDF.
yeah. Barring any unexpected delays in like printing or whatever,
Yeah.
we shouldn't have any problem with it. So let's talk about your blog, Molten Sulfur. What
Yeah.
can you say
So,
about it?
I started doing the Molten Sulfur blog um back in 2017, I want to say. Um Maybe very late 2016. But it's a it, I write blog posts. I put out one post a month. And I write blog posts about real things from real history and real folklore that are worth learning about in their own right, right? They're interesting, they're engaging. And then I talk about how you can take this cool thing and file the serial numbers off of it and drop it into the campaign, the RPG campaign that you are already running. So it's NPCs, it's adventure hooks, it's adventure locations. It's at this point, it's got I think I'm pushing 400 backlog of something like 400 blog posts because
Right.
I've been running it for a hot minute. And for most of that, it was one post a week, um, and and it's all searchable and indexed, and go into my back catalog, find search and filter by tags, and find the thing that you need for your game tonight, right? That's kind of my goal. Is I want you to be able to go into my back catalog and find something for your game tonight when you say like, oh man, I need a thing, and like, great, type in a few keywords or filter by a few tags, and there's your thing. And yeah, no, it's been really rewarding to do. It's also blogs are big, even in the year of our Lord 2026. Blogs are still big in the RPG world.
Yeah.
And I would recommend of anyone who's thinking about getting into game design that it's worth starting a blog, even if nobody reads it, because one of the big effects of having been doing this blog for pushing 10 years is that it's practice, right? There's
Yeah.
no you gotta game designers are writers, and there is no way to get better at writing except reading and writing. And so
Right.
being forced, having that deadline hanging over my neck every week, no, I got to find something good, and I got to write something good, and it's got to be something that I can put out in the world with my name on it and be proud of having done so. It really forces you to practice. And then, I remember so often I would, this doesn't happen quite so often anymore. With the blog, but for a long time, I would kind of look back at a post that I published a year earlier, and be like, "Wow, I'm doing. My work is so much better now than it was a year ago."
Yeah.
And like, yeah, imagine that practicing things makes you better at them. And then it also, because I've my brand has become, oh, I'm a history in RPGs guy, which I suppose at Pelgrane puts me in good company. But it forces you to read a metric ton of books. It forces you to, expand your mind and go looking for cool things, and not get stale, because you've always got to be reading, something that you haven't read before in order to find a topic for a blog post that you haven't written about before. And it's been a really rewarding experience.
Thank you very much. Let's look at the Kickstarter now.
Yeah.
And it's 33 backers
Okay.
with £2,600. And let's call it a day for the launch party, because we launched
Okay.
and it's been maybe more than half an hour by now, right? And thank you very much, Tristan, for launching with us and writing this game and for everything else.
Well, thank you for having me here. I am excited to see where this Kickstarter campaign goes.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for watching. See you, and write to us on Discord and whatever platform you reach to us. And yeah, thank you for being part of this. Bye bye.